बेहद ड्रामा के अंदर मम्मा और बाबा का विशेष पार्ट रहा। आप सबको मालूम है,
All of you know
कि बाबा ब्रह्मा कैसे बना।
how Brahma Baba became Brahma. He was Dada Lekraj in his own family.
बच्चों का बाप था,
He was the father of 5 children
डीलर था,
and professionally a jeweler.
रहने वाला था।
He lived in the household.
परंतु एक सेकंड में
But within 1 second,
कैसे शिव बाबा ने
how did Shiv Baba
ज्योति जगाई
awaken his
और उनको
light
अपना बना दिया,
and make him his own?
उनको स्मृति दे दी,
Gave him the awareness
तेरा क्या पार्ट,
what your part
तुमको
is.
विश्व का कल्याण करना है,
He said to Brahma Baba, you have to
इसलिए
benefit
तुमको
the
अपना
world,
तन मन धन सरेंडर करना।
and therefore you have to surrender your body,
अब
mind
विश्व का
and
कल्याण
wealth.
एक पहले साधारण व्यक्ति,
So how can an ordinary person subtly get that signal
कैसे मैं करूँगा,
and think, how could I become a world benefactor? But the sign that he received,
सेवा में
that he had to do service of the world and surrender his body, mind and wealth. On the basis of this signal which Baba caught, and immediately he finished his business.
बाबा के अभी रचना रची नहीं थी,
And now Shiv Baba hadn't started the yagya or anything, it was in his home, but Shiv Baba had given him the signal to create the trust of the mothers and girls, and Baba surrendered. He had 2 visions. One was the vision of the destruction, the great destruction of the old world, and secondly, how the forthcoming world would be. He saw how the golden age was going to be, how there was the kingdom of gods and goddesses. He saw in all 4 directions the civilization of deities, the beautiful land, the happiness, the way the deities lived. He got this signal that you have to make a happy world like this. He got the signal. We had, every year we have been listening to the details of that. But Brahma Baba got a single signal and he started to think, how could I make a world like this? And he became very internalized. He didn't like any of the happinesses of the worldly life, but he just wanted to be alone and talk with God and think, what does God want to tell me? What does God want to do with me? And as much as Baba stayed in solitude, he got many different inspirations from Shiv Baba. You have to do this, you have to do that. And so he got the signals from Shiv Baba and started acting upon them right away. The same second when he got the signal, he started to act on it. He was a simple human being, but he became completely transformed from the limited to the unlimited, and his thoughts went into the unlimited. Now he thought, now I have to do unlimited benefit. How will I do that? He had never thought, nobody who's living at home ever thinks like that, but he got that signal. And internally a change started to happen within him. He started to listen to Gyan in solitude. He said, there is somebody who is teaching me something. Somebody is making me into something. Somebody is giving me something. So internally, Baba felt things and he started to write what he was feeling. And he would right away write 10 or 15 pages. And then our sisters who were in connection with Baba in those days, when they used to read those written pages, they immediately got into an intoxicated stage. There were very good points about the knowledge of the soul. They listened to these things and they started to become soul conscious. Each one would go to their own home and write these things in their own notebooks. and started to practice according to what was
आत्मा की
written.
दृष्टि पक्की हो गई
And they started to create a very firm drishti of the soul, thinking, I'm a soul, and the one who's sitting in front of me, who is telling me, he's making my drishti firm, that yes, you are a soul. Recognize yourself, who you
तो
are.
जैसे जैसे हम पहचानते जाते हैं
And as we started to recognize ourselves and realize ourselves from
मैं
within,
शरीर नहीं हूँ,
I'm not this body.
मैं एक ज्योति स्वरूप आत्मा हूँ।
I am a soul in the form of
तो
light.
सामने वाले के लिए भी हमारे बुद्धि में आ जाता है ये भी एक
And then we
आत्मा
also used to think the one who's sitting in front of us, this is also a soul, form of light. I, the soul, am looking at
है।
another
ऐसे हमारी
soul.
दृष्टि पक्की हो गई।
In that way, our drishti of the soul became very strong. And whoever the girls and mothers who would come to the gathering, we saw them all as souls. Then Baba used to sing the Om at the beginning. It was the chant of the Om.
एकदम सांस के एंड तक ले जाती थी।
And he would chant the Om to the end of the breath. And Baba had taught us to sing that chant. And it was containing so much power and so much silence that many sisters went into trance. They went away from this world. And every day someone or another went into trance.
ये सब क्या हो रहा है?
And people were wondering, what's going
किसी
on?
को श्री कृष्ण पुर का
Some
साक्षात्कार
had the vision of the land of Krishna. Some saw Krishna.
किसी को सतयुग का
Some
पूरा
saw
सुंदर
the
नजारा
beauty,
नजर आता है।
the beautiful scenes of the Golden
और
Age.
किसी को कलयुगी सृष्टि का
And
पाप
some saw the destruction of the world, which was a very terrifying form of destruction which they were completely afraid of, and they would say, stop, stop, don't show us this anymore. It was so severe.
तो विनाश का भी साक्षात्कार बाबा ने कराया।
So Baba had also seen the destruction, and he had also seen the establishment of the Golden Age. And these, because of these two visions, this new vision of the yajna started to happen. Everybody got firm faith that yes, we have attained the unlimited Father. We have attained our true Father. And they used to meet Baba in such a way as if they had met someone who had been lost for a long, long time, like a child who's lost for years and years. They would catch hold of Baba and cry. And they would say, Baba, where had you gone? You left us and went. Where did you go? This was the first meeting, but yet Baba had never seen them before. So what are they talking about? They were talking about God. And they used to see God in Baba. Baba's drishti was very, very extraordinary. His face was extraordinary. Even if somebody hadn't had a vision, yet Baba's face was speaking to them. And when they see Baba's face, they would have a realization that yes, this is my true Father that I have met. Within a second, they were not ready to let go of Baba. Then Baba used to give a signal. Okay, now child, time has passed. Now go. Your mother and father are going to be looking for you. And then they would cry and they would not be willing to go. Baba would say, no, you have to go. They'd say, we don't want to go home. Baba says, no, you have to go and serve them. If you come every day and go and do service, then they will all change. And so from the beginning, Baba gave us the feeling of service and sent us on service. We used to go up onto the rooftops for solitude, and whatever Baba had taught us, we would practice it. We used to think about the teachings, and in a second we made our food correct, and we stopped fashion, cinema. We stopped thinking about unnecessary things, waste thoughts. And it was a gathering that was prepared from within, and the satsang grew. And in those days, Mama came. In her Lokik home, her sister and her and one other
शादीशुदा थी
One
और
had
दो
been
कुमारियां
married
थी
and there were two unmarried
और दोनों
sisters.
कुमारियां इतनी
And the
attractive
two
थी
sisters were so
जो
attractive
जब भी वो दोनों स्कूल से गुजरती
that
थी
wherever they would go
तो
from
पता नहीं
school,
क्या हमारे को होता था हमारी जैसी सखियां हम सब खड़े होके देखते थे
we used to look at them because they were just so extraordinary. They had long, beautiful black hair and divine faces, and we just felt like looking at them. But within our city, such beautiful, divine girls, we thought they were like goddesses. One was called Gopi,
मम्मा है उसका नाम था राधे
and Mama's name was
पूरा
Radhe.
दिन हुआ तो हम रोज मम्मा को ऐसे स्कूल से जाते हुए
And
लौटते हुए
we
देखते
used to see them coming and
थोड़े
going
समय
to
के बाद
school.
हमारा सत्संग खुला
And it was a short time after that that our gathering
तो
opened,
बाबा के घर के नजदीक में उनका घर था
and her house was near
बाबा का भी
Baba's
और इसका
house.
मम्मा का भी उन दिनों में मम्मा के लौकिक पिता
And
ने शरीर
Mama's
छोड़ा हुआ
Lokik father left the
था। उसके
body,
माँ के घर में बहुत दुख था
and there was a lot of sorrow in her mother's
तो
home.
जसोदा बाबा की रिश्तेदार इनकी रिश्तेदार थी
And Brahma Baba's wife and Mama's mother were
जसोदा जो बाबा
relatives.
की धर्मपत्नी ने उन दोनों का थोड़ा रिश्ता था
And
जब
so
उसने शरीर छोड़ा
when
पति ने
her husband had died, Mama's mother's husband had died, so Jasoda went to give her knowledge,
ओ माँ को
to
बेटी
give
जी
knowledge
तो
to the mother.
आपको पता है यहाँ कौन सा
She says,
सत्संग
do
खुला
you
है?
know which gathering is open just near? You are becoming so sorrowful and crying. And Baba is giving the knowledge of the Gita by which all sorrow
और
goes
सबको अंदर
away
की खुशी मिल गई
and you get inner happiness. So you come one time.
बोला मैं कैसे जाऊँ मेरा
And she
पति
said,
मर गया अभी मैं
how
कैसे
could I
जा सकती
go? Because it's not the
बोला
custom
नहीं
to go
सत्संग
anywhere
जाने
when
के
your
लिए
husband has died. But they
वो
said,
अपने
no, no,
मन
you
की
can go
शांति
to
के
a
लिए जरूर
satsang. This is for your peace of
उसकी
mind.
माँ आ गई फिर उनके साथ उनकी दोनों
So
बहनें
she came with her two
तो
daughters.
मम्मा जब आई है
And when
अपनी
Mama
माँ के साथ
arrived
में,
with her mother
और उनकी बहन भी आई है
and with her sister,
बस दोनों की दृष्टि बाबा के ऊपर पड़ी
when their drishti fell on
तो
Brahma
मम्मा को
Baba,
क्या महसूस हुआ
what did Mama
जैसी
feel?
प्यार भरी रूहानी दृष्टि पड़ी ना बाबा
As
की
if it was
मम्मा के
a drishti from Baba
तो मम्मा
filled
को
with
लगा
love.
मेरा सच्चा
And Mama felt, oh, I have experienced my real true father. And she got this real feeling that she got a real father and the real Gita knowledge.
बाबा का इशारा मिलता था
She got the signal from Baba, and Mama used to catch his signals, what Baba
और
wants.
मम्मा से पूछता मम्मा तू क्या बनेगी
And he asked Mama, Mama, what will you become?
तमलधारी कृष्ण को वरेंगी
Will you get married with Krishna?
कोट वाले को वरेंगी
Or will you marry this other fellow, this human being? Because she was engaged at that time. Mama smiled and she said, I think I'll take Sri Krishna. And that was it.
मम्मा हो गई
Then
रोज बाबा एक गीत बनाता था
Baba used to make a song every day. He used to write
फिल्मी गीतों
songs.
के अक्षर होते थे तर्ज होता था पर अक्षर सब बाबा की ज्ञान के
They were songs filled with
बाबा में
knowledge.
ये कला थी थोड़ी
And Baba didn't have that quality, but as soon as he came into Gyan, he got this ability to write
रोज नया
songs.
गीत बनाता था
He made new songs every day and would give them to Mama, and Mama was a very, very good musician, and she used to play the harmonium and the sitar. She was really very good at them.
और मम्मा का आवाज भी
And she had a very sweet singing voice. And when she used to sing,
हमको ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि इसके आवाज से कोई ये शब्द निकल रहे
we
हैं
didn't feel
सारा
that
चेहरा बोलता है
her mouth was speaking, but her whole body, her face, her actions were expressing the meaning of that song.
तो मम्मा रोज एक गीत हम सब बच्चों को सुनाने लगी
And so each day we heard a new song. We didn't call her Mama at that time. She was called Radhe.
धीरे
Gradually,
ऐसी ताकत आती गई बाबा के द्वारा
through Baba, she accumulated such strength that whatever words of knowledge she would speak became imprinted on her.
आने से पहले तुम ये महावाक्य पढ़ो
And so she said, Baba used to tell her to do lectures. She didn't have any practice of receiving knowledge or giving lectures, but Baba awakened her as a Shiv Shakti and made her the instrument. When Baba had surrendered his body, mind and wealth, he surrendered it over Mama, and all the jewels of knowledge, he wanted Mama to receive them, and then she would then speak everything orally to the other brothers and sisters. She had very good catching power and good ability to speak, and she was good at clarifying. So each point of knowledge, she would clarify it for the sisters and brothers. Her words were very simple, and so everybody could understand immediately what she's talking about. Baba was the ocean, and the waves of knowledge would emerge for him, but Mama was soft like a river who moves along. The ocean is full of big waves, but the river goes along quietly. And so Mama used to, the whole gathering used to be impressed by Mama, and they would love to listen. And they would say, such and such a person's daughter is speaking to us so well. Who is teaching her to make such a good lecture? So everybody used to come to her, and there were all sorts of, most of the people in the town were related to her on some level. She was very brilliant in school and used to get prizes. One of her main relatives had died, and Mama started to be in this knowledge very, very well. After Radhe, she started to be called Shri Radhe. Then she would sit in 2-minute silence, and when people would go in trance, they would see her as Radhe along with Krishna. People would see her as Lakshmi. They would see her in the form of a mother. Even if it was a mother or a little girl, they would still feel that she was their mother and would hug her like that. And so Baba had explained that she had a very special part in the yagya, and she had to do the benefit of many, many souls. And Baba would see her in a very high vision, that, child, you have to do a lot of benefit for many people. You are the Ganges of knowledge, and you must make everybody divine through these speeches. And there were 6 or 8 other sisters with her, like Dadi Prakashmani, for example. They all were studying together at school. Chandramani Dadi was there, and she had left her body a little time earlier now. Shantamani Dadi, who lives down below, was also with her. And she was the daughter of Mama's aunt, so the second cousin. And so she used to take care. And her face is similar to Mama, because the two families of her and Shantamani Dadi's family, they started to be together, and they had faith in Baba. They lived full in all the principles. Whatever Baba would say, they would do. So there was an atmosphere about this in the whole city, that everybody would start to follow, seeing Baba. So many, many people started to follow. And then the house got too small, so he broke a wall and made it bigger so everyone could fit. And then they went out in the courtyard because there wasn't enough room in the building. And it became so well known in the city that everybody wanted to come. And they left all the other religious gatherings and would go only to Baba's gathering, and they wanted to see. The gurus used to say, look, you used to come to me every day, and now what's happened to you? You're going to him. How did you get caught up in Dada Lekraj? Is he doing magic or what? Why are you going there? They'd say no. They'd say, no, we see visions of Krishna. Other people get it. We get it too. We don't see Baba as Baba. We see him as Krishna. We don't see Dada Lekraj. he turns into Shri Krishna.
उनके गुरु लोग सुनते थे, वो
And so then the gurus were amazed at hearing this, saying, what's going on here? How is this possible?
तो उन्होंने फिर सारी सभा के बीच में कह दिया,
So then they said in the middle
जो
of the
हमारे
big
सत्संग
gathering
आने वाली है,
that whoever
अगर वो वहाँ जाएंगी
wants
तो
to
हमारे
go
पास
there,
नहीं आ सकते।
then they should not come here
गुरु
anymore.
के साथ संबंध टूटा आपका।
And then they broke off their
गुरु के निंदक बन
relationships.
गए।
They said that these
उन्होंने
people
ऐसा
have
झाड़ा
become,
उनको,
they
जो
kind of
कच्चे,
cursed them and
कमजोर
made them
थे,
out to be
जो थोड़े sensible
people
थे,
who were
वो बैठ गए। और जो
against
निश्चय
them.
बुद्धि थे,
So those who
वो
were not
गंभीर
too
से
clear about Baba, they
कि
went
हमारा
back to
सब
their
कुछ इस कार्य
gurus,
के लिए है।
and those who had
जो
faith,
बाबा ने
they
किया वो
surrendered
हम करेंगे।
everything to Baba. And they said, whatever
तो
Baba
बाबा
has
ने
done, we
कहा
will
तन
do
मन
the
धन
same
फट से
thing. He
शरीर
had
में बैठ गया
immediately
भगवान के
surrendered
काम में।
his body, mind, and wealth to the
वो
work
काम
of
सब
God,
कुछ दिखाई
so
पड़ा।
they also wanted to do
कन्या
the
माता का
same.
उत्थान हो गया।
And then
छोटी-छोटी बच्चियां भी इतना
many
सुंदर भाषण करती
young girls started to be
थी।
able to
मैंने
give
देखा एक
very good lectures.
12 साल की बच्ची थी,
Maybe there was one girl of
वो
about
आके
12
संगीत
years
पर
old,
बैठी,
and she
बहुत
came
अच्छी
and
हो गई।
sat on the gadi
भाषण
and
इतना अच्छा किया, इतना
gave
अच्छा,
good
ऐसा
yoga,
लगा
very
जैसे
good
ऊपर से गंगा बह रही।
speech, as if the Ganges of
सब
knowledge was
माताएं कन्या
speaking
उठ
through
करके
her.
लास्ट में बच्ची को बहुत प्यार करने लगी।
And they started to be
वो
very
कहती है, मैंने
loving
थोड़ी किया,
towards the girl. She said,
मेरे
no,
से
I
तो
didn't
बाबा
do
ने कराया।
anything. Baba did
मैं
something
बाबा को
through
याद
me.
करके बैठ
I
गई।
sit in Baba's
फिर
remembrance and he
कैसे
does
बाबा ने मेरे
everything.
द्वारा वाणी चलाई, वो बाबा को पता, मुझे कुछ पता नहीं। तो फिर उन्होंने
So
अपनी
Baba
चीज़ों
knows
को
what
बनाया।
to say through me.
सारे परिवार को उसके कारण आना पड़ा, सारा परिवार भी आता रहा।
So then the whole
तो
families would
सारे
start
शहर में
coming,
काफी सारी ज्ञान गंगाएं तैयार
and
हो गई।
many Ganges
जो
of
कभी
knowledge
बोलती
got
नहीं थी।
ready in the city who never
अगर
used
कोई
to be
कहे
able
ना
to
तुम आज
speak.
थोड़ा 5 मिनट बोलो, तो बुखार
If
हो जाता है।
someone would tell them
कैसे हो
to
सकता है?
speak in a gathering for
कभी
5
बोला ही
minutes,
नहीं
they
था।
would immediately get a fever.
लेकिन
Be
बाबा ने
impossible.
जिनके ऊपर फेथ रख करके उनको वाणी दी, खत कि बच्ची तुम आज तुम इसको
But
अध्ययन करके
Baba
तुम
made them powerful enough to be able to do that. And he would say, today you will speak.
तो
Today
जिनको
you
बाबा
will
ने
speak.
कहा ना, उनको फिर बाबा से शक्ति मिल गई।
Baba gave them the power to do
इसलिए
it.
वो भाषण बहुत अच्छा करते थे। धीरे-धीरे ओम
And they
की
used to
ध्वनि
do
से
good lectures.
ऐसी अवस्था हो गई सभा के बीच में, बहुत
And
सारी
they
माताएं
got
ध्यान में
such
थी।
a stage
रोज की रोज।
where every day people would go in
हमको घर
trance,
में जाने में देरी लग जाती थी।
and then they would go
हम कहते
home
थे,
late.
आज ये ध्यान में गई है ना,
They would say, oh, we
हम
went
ये
into
उठेंगे, हम
trance.
उनसे पूछेंगे क्या देखा, तुम कहाँ गई थी, तुम्हारी आंखें बंद थी। और
So then we
कुछ
would
कुछ
ask
देख रही
them,
थी, तुम
what did
बोल
you
रही
see?
थी।
You were having closed eyes. You were speaking. What did you see?
फिर जब वो वर्णन करती थी तो हमारे चित्त से लग जाता।
And then they would
सच्चाई
start
का पता
speaking.
लगता।
It would be clear that they were not lying. They were telling the truth. They were not imagining something.
तो इनकी शुरुआत हो गई जिसमें मम्मा ने पूरा भाग लिया।
And so
रोज गीत गाती थी, एक नया गीत, और भी बाबा ने जो वाणी दी उसको कैच करके सुनाती थी। फिर आने वाले
So then Mama would sing and the meaning of the song would be spoken. Big people from the city, they would come, the important people, they would come and listen to Mama. They would become firm. Mama had a lot of influence. And they said, they felt that she was very, very good. She is like a deity. And whoever Mama had spoken any knowledge to, they didn't break. Others, we would speak to them. After some time, maybe they would go away. But whoever Mama would teach, they would still be with us. People started to come. A school was opened to free the different people from the bondages because the families would give limitations. Then Baba said he will live in a separate building, and then Mama would be the one that they would be staying with. And the place which was Baba's home, Baba had surrendered himself plus his house. So Mama came and would conduct the satsang there, and every day she would say, stay there all day. All the people who would come, brothers, mothers, they would come specially to meet Mama. And they had great love for Mama. Mama would give drishti for a couple of minutes and they would get visions. Visions of Lakshmi. And this is why People had that feeling, Mama is Lakshmi and Baba is Krishna, and she was Radhe. So with Krishna, they would see the two as Lakshmi and Narayan, or Radhe and Krishna. And then the wife of Brahma Baba, she also had the same experience from Mama. She was Jasoda, and she used to realize that yes, this is the mother of the world, and she has a part with Baba. She has a very special destiny. In Lokik, I'm married to him, but now he has become the instrument of God, the vehicle of God, and he has that. And so she used to have a lot of love for Mama. Mama used to give us a lot of spiritual sustenance, especially about dharna. Suppose I was in bondage and I couldn't get freedom to come, so Mama used to explain how to handle the situation. We would say what would happen to us. She would give us so much love and explain, you are belonging to Baba, and they don't understand, and this is why they are insulting you. But when they understand, they will start worshipping you. It's only because they don't know what's going on. Even my mother was insulting me, and Mama used to explain. It's because they don't have knowledge. They don't know. This is why they're behaving this way. You also think about benefiting them. At the time of Amrit Vela, of getting up, we used to get up early, and my mother was sleeping. We had very good sanskaras from Bhakti. She didn't let me come in. So I thought, how can I give her the donation of yoga and peace? So I sat at her feet and gave drishti to her sleeping form. And then she got up and saying, daughter, what's going on? Why are you sitting like this? I said, I'm sitting so that you could get up and remember God. Get up and remember God. And so she did. She said, oh, what shall I do? How do I meditate? Then I started to tell her. She used to beat me in the day, but then in the morning, through Amrit Vela, on her heart, there was a good effect. And she thought that, yes, my daughter is in a good way, in a good path. She's not just going anywhere. And then she started to be very loving. She said, hey, people are bothering me a lot and forcing me to do this to you. I said, Mother, even if I die, but I will not leave that place. You need to understand that I'm not going to leave Baba, because my desires of many, many births is getting fulfilled. You haven't attained God, but I have directly been made into the one who belongs to God. Then she had mercy, but she was very attached to me. So I used to get a lot of obstacles, and Mama used to explain many things to me to make me very, very strong. Mama was like the leader of this army. Nobody had a personality like her. Many sisters were there, very, very good ones, educated ones, beautiful, good speakers. But the qualities of Mama, nobody had like that. And then gradually Baba started to call her Saraswati, and her part became clear. Shiv Baba had told Brahma Baba that you are Brahma Baba and you have to create a new world. And she is the mother of the Yagya. She is Jagat Amba Saraswati. In that way, Baba had clarified Mama's part and clarified Baba's part. And all the others who had come were the servers of the yajna. And Baba said, these are the Shiv Shakti army. And he told Mama to prepare the Shiv Shakti army. At first we were very simple, but Baba raised us up to a very high level. He said, you are divine people, you're going to raise up the world. And then Baba awakened all those sanskaras. Then we couldn't think of ourselves as ordinary. Baba used to say, you are this, you are this. And then we all gradually all surrendered. Some got left behind, some got stuck in bondages. Many things happened. We couldn't keep people that were very, very young, but because of Mama, we had a lot of safety. Baba used to live separately. Otherwise, people used to think that Dada Lekraj has kept our daughters, and they thought of it as in a bad way. But Baba was with his family in another house, and Mama was with, we were all with Mama. And when they used to get angry, he would say, look, they're not with Baba, they're all with Mateshwari, Mama. Nobody is with me, I have my family, that's all. From the beginning, by Almighty Baba's indications, each child had to have a letter of permission from their parents, saying that I allow my child, with happiness I give permission to take the knowledge. And my parents also gave a letter which was addressed to Mama, that I am giving my daughter freedom to take this nectar of knowledge. And all these letters were here, but then we used to show these letters that nobody has kidnapped anyone. Everybody had letters from their mothers, fathers, brothers. Nobody could then pull us away. Many people spoke false things, but they couldn't do anything, because Baba had arranged our safety with many tactics and strategies. Shiv Baba was getting all these things done, otherwise Brahma Baba didn't know about this. So Baba gave all of these virtues and qualities to his instrument. And this is how our yajna has gone. We became free. Then we went to Karachi. And the whole structure of the day was in Mama's hands, and she used to create our disciplines. She used to come and teach us class, whatever Mama had studied. She would teach us at night. She would take leave of all of us and put us to rest. She would conduct meditation in the early morning. She would be the main conducting one, and all the different actions and work of the yajna she would show us how to do. We were all from wealthy homes, so we didn't know how to do anything. But Mama, from her heart, used to come and do what was necessary, and we all would do it. So she would do the cutting of the vegetables and going around, and she would see what was happening, and she would come back, and we would follow her. And then she would cut the vegetables, and everybody got a turn to do the food. At the beginning of the lunch, Mama was always there. The bell would ring for lunch, and she would come immediately, and everybody started to learn these disciplines. She didn't used to say anything, but she used to do it. And whatever her example was, we would all follow that. So she used to come first to the kitchen to make the rotis. If anyone would come or not come, she didn't concern herself with that, but at the right moment she would be there. So we were a group of about 10 sisters who would prepare the food, make the vegetables, clean and wash the huge big vessels
जो हम
in
कर
which
भी
we
नहीं
did the
सकते थे,
cooking.
पर बाबा कहते हैं ये जो विकारी माइयां हैं
Baba said
उनसे
that
कोई काम नहीं लेना,
don't
सब काम
get
अपने हाथ से
any
करो।
of the work done through any
घर
of
का काम
the
भी करना
servants
है,
or outside
कमरों की
people,
सफाई भी
because
करनी है,
it all has to be
खाना भी
done by
पकाना है,
yogis.
फिर खाने पकाने के बाद बर्तन भी साफ करना है, फिर
And
योग भी
so
करना है।
we would clean the
कोई चीज में
vessels,
हमको
and
मिस नहीं होनी।
everything was done by us.
ऐसे
Nothing
बाबा ने
was
मम्मा
missed.
ने
Baba
रखा,
and Mama
बाबा
had
अलग
taught
रहता
us
था,
this.
हम
Baba
अलग रहते
was
थे
living
मम्मा के साथ।
separate, but we were with Mama, and she
मम्मा जब
taught us
प्यार में चलती
everything.
थी और हम उसके पीछे पीछे चलते।
So she created the daily
बहुत
routine, the discipline, and we all followed her. She was very mature, like
जो
a
भी शिक्षा
goddess.
देनी होंगी ना, वो मम्मा का ऐसा रूप रहता था, हमको
And whenever
realize
she
होता
had
था।
to give us any
मम्मा के
corrections,
आचरण
she
से
would
तो
speak to us in such a way that we would understand our mistake. And then Mama would say, yes, just pay attention.
तो कभी-कभी हम
I
बहनों के
suppose
बीच में
there were two
थोड़ा
sisters,
सा आपस में मन
and
मोटा हो जाता
there
है।
was some disagreement
मन
between
मोटा हो
them,
जाएगा तो मन थोड़ा भारी होगा ना।
and someone would feel a
मम्मा
little
आपस में
heavy.
पूछेंगे, हमारा चेहरा देखकर,
Mama would see that in our faces and say, hey, what's happening? Is your health
हाँ
all
माँ
right?
वैसे तो मैं ठीक
And
हूँ,
we would say, oh, yeah, I'm all
क्या
right.
हुआ?
She said, no, what
कुछ
happened?
हुआ है?
Did something happen?
मम्मा हाँ थोड़ा सा।
We would say, yeah, a
पता
little
नहीं किस
bit.
साथ आज ये छोटी सी बात हो
I had
गई,
little
उससे
problem with this
मेरा
other
मन थोड़ा
person,
भारी।
and because of that, my mind is a little
मम्मा
heavy.
समझा देती थी
And then
ऐसा,
Mama would give
जो सदा के लिए वो
explanations
जो अंदर की है ना, वो निकल जाती थी।
that
उसके
would
प्रति वैर भी नहीं
finish
रखना
off
है।
that problem. And she
जो
would
उसने
say,
कहा
no,
उसको धारण करो।
just
अगर गलत है तो उसको ठीक करो।
if you made a mistake, then
अगर
fix
ठीक है
it.
तो तुम ठीक
If
नहीं
you're
रहो।
all right, then don't worry if somebody
तो
doesn't
मम्मा की
like it.
शिक्षाओं ने हमको बहुत खड़ा कर दिया।
So Mama's teachings made
एक
us
जगह
really
पर
stand
एक्टिविटी
up for
बनाने वाली थी,
ourselves,
पढ़ने की
and
कला
we
मम्मा
learned
ने
all the
सिखलाई,
different
हिंदी नहीं
arts,
जानते थे, हिंदी मम्मा
writing,
ने सिखलाई।
reading.
यज्ञ
Mama
का
taught
काम
us
काज
Hindi,
नहीं
we
जानते
didn't
थे,
know
मम्मा करके
Hindi.
दिखाती थी तो हम करते थे।
Mama used to show us how to do all the
बड़े-बड़े
different
घरों की
work of
दादियाँ
the
आई थी,
yagya.
उन्होंने कभी स्थूल काम किया ही नहीं था,
We
नौकर
came
क्या
from
कसर भी
very
करो।
wealthy families. We'd
परंतु
never
यज्ञ
done
के
any
अंदर आकर
work,
के
but
बाबा ने काम किया,
there
मम्मा
were
ने काम किया तो
servants. But
सभी
Mama and Baba did everything, so we also
मकान
were ready
बनाने
to
का
do
काम भी
everything.
बाबा डायरेक्शन
Even
देता था,
we
बच्चे ये
learned how
घर
to
बनाना
build
है,
houses.
बच्चे ये काम करना है।
Baba would tell us the
मम्मा को
different
डायरेक्शन
work to
देता था,
do.
मम्मा ने सेना को कहा और सेना
Mama
ने काम करना शुरू
created the army,
किया।
and
तो
as
मम्मा
an
की
army, we
मीठी
did all the
कहानी
different work. Mama was very,
हमारे
very
मम्मा के
sweet,
दिल में हमारा स्थान हो गया।
and we
मम्मा
had a
बहुत
place in
गहरी
Mama's heart.
स्नेह देती थी, जिससे
She
हमारी
gave very
आत्मा
deep
को
love,
शीतलता मिलती रहती।
so that our soul
हम
became
मम्मा जैसा बने।
very cool, and we wanted to
मम्मा
become
कैसे
like
प्यार से
Mama.
बात करती है,
How Mama would
मम्मा
speak
कैसे
with
मम्मा
love.
की साफ दिल है,
She had a very
मम्मा
clean
में कोई
heart,
अवगुण दिखाई नहीं पड़ता है।
no negative
थी तो हमारे शहर
qualities.
में रहने वाली, कोई
She
ऊपर से तो
was
आई नहीं।
someone who was from our house. She didn't come down from the sky. She was from our city.
मम्मा कैसे
So
ज्ञान
how
की
did
गंगा पर
she
कैसा सुंदर
become
वर्षण
Mama? How
करती है
did she
कि हम
become the
लोगों को अंदर
Ganges of
शक्ति आ
knowledge?
जाती है कि हम
Then
लोग ऐसे
seeing that, we got
तो
the
मम्मा की
inspiration. If she
पालना
can
ने
become like that, we can
हम
too.
लोगों को आगे बढ़ाया। फिर बाबा
Mama
प्रेरणा
moved
देता
us
था
forward.
कि
Baba used
सबसे
to give
पहले
us inspirations
सर्विस के लिए निकलना है,
that
तो
make
मम्मा को
yourselves
भेजा,
ready for
मम्मा तुम
service.
जाओ,
He used to send
दिल्ली में
Mama
जाओ,
to Delhi
कानपुर में जाओ,
and to
लखनऊ में जाओ,
Kanpur and
सब जगह
Lucknow.
पहले तुम जाओ और
First,
तुम्हारे साथ ये बच्चियां भी जाएंगी।
Mama would go,
तो
and
कुछ
then
बच्चियां
together with
पहले
her,
गई थी,
some of the other girls
कुछ
would
फिर
go.
मम्मा के साथ में निकली।
Some would go later, some
फिर
would go
जहाँ
with
जहाँ मम्मा
her.
जाती थी, भाषण
Wherever
करती
she
थी
would
ना,
go, she would
तो
give a
जैसे
lecture.
मम्मा को देख करके हम बच्चे सीखते थे।
And seeing how Mama would do it,
ऐसे
we
करते
learned.
करते करते लास्ट मोमेंट तक भी
And up until the last
मम्मा हम
moment,
बच्चों के साथ हैं
Mama was with
और
us
अपनी दिनचर्या में एक्यूरेट।
and accurate in her
सहनशीलता
daily
की तो मूर्त
routine.
थी।
She was the embodiment
मम्मा
of
को कभी कोई
tolerance.
तकलीफ हुई शरीर में,
Though she may have had a
कभी मुझसे
physical
नहीं वर्णन
problem,
करती
she never would have spoken about
कि
it,
मुझे ये तकलीफ है।
saying, I have
हम
this
बहुत
pain or
नज़दीक
this
थे,
problem. We were very
मम्मा
close
की
to
गली
her.
में जाना आना, मम्मा से मिलना, जैसे माँ है।
She was like our
घर में
mother,
कुछ
so
काम करती
coming
थी, हम
and
मम्मा के
going,
साथ
if
में
there
बैठ
was
जाते
any
थे।
work going
सब्जी
on, we
काटने
would
में
be
मम्मा
with
के
her.
बाजू-बाजू में बैठ जाती
We would
थी।
sit near her
जिन्हें हमको
for
पता
the
लगना चाहिए।
preparation of the food.
पर बिल्कुल मम्मा इतनी गंभीरता की देवी हैं,
But she was
जो
such a
सूरत
goddess
में भी
of
बीमारी को नहीं दिखाएंगी।
maturity that
सहनशीलता की
her
मूर्त।
illness wasn't visible on her
और
face. She
फिर
was really
समझो
had great
बीमारी
power
है,
of
कभी
tolerance.
कोई नर्स आती जाती है तो हमारा ध्यान जाता है।
But sometimes there was a nurse coming, and then we would see, why is
आज
this
तो कई
nurse
कई मम्मा
there?
के कमरे में जाती हो, क्या
Why
बात
is she going again and again into
आपको
Mama's
पता नहीं?
room? They would say, hey, don't you know? Mama has a lot of fever.
अच्छा मम्मा तो बोलती नहीं है.
We would say, but she didn't say
तो
anything.
हम फिर मम्मा से मिलने जाते थे. मम्मा कहती नहीं.
Then we would say, Mama, what's going on? She would say, oh no, nothing, nothing, it's all right. She didn't used to talk about it.
सहनशीलता की मूर्त होने के कारण मम्मा के चेहरे में बीमारी आई.
And so the illness didn't show on her face. Even if you go to Dadi Janki, she may have something. And she would be the same, stay in her peace, finish her illness from within. She may be unwell at night, and in the morning she's up again as if nothing happened. So Mama had made everyone like herself. She was the embodiment of divine virtues. Even Mama's own mother used to call her Mama, and would go into Mama's lap and have a hug. And this was the amazing miracle of the death whilst alive. Even Brahma Baba's wife would go like a small child into the lap of Mama. Everyone felt that she was really a mother, a goddess. She was a virgin, a girl, but she had this part and she had this dharna, and the part made her what she was. Baba placed Mama ahead in every activity. Suppose there was some upset, people had spoken a lot of bad things about BKs, so then Mama would be sent to the court to answer the charges. And she would give such answers that everybody would just be quiet. So this girl is speaking with such authority and such truthfulness. And they felt that she was telling the truth. Now Baba used to take us into his lap. Now we were his children. Baba became the unlimited father. Baba used to meet everyone and hug everyone. And the people made a big fuss about this, that he's hugging them all. And so it turned into a big deal. And the judge asked, that does Pitashri take you into his lap? She said, what's a big deal about that? A father always takes his children into his lap. He's our father. We're his children. So why shouldn't we go into his lap? Don't you pick up your own children and put them in your lap and give them a hug? And does anybody have any doubt about your intentions on that child? He is our father. We have a right to go into his lap. He's our father. She spoke this with yoga and with fearlessness. So do you people do that? And Mama gave answers to all the questions they had. This was all new, what was going on. She was really very powerful, and she had the power of truth. And she had the authority of Baba. Wherever she went, whatever she did, she was successful. The sadhus, saints, Mahatmas also went to question her. And they said, no, we want to see your Mateshwari. Baba never used to meet people, no matter how big the guru was. He would say, this mother is the instrument, you go and talk to the mother. They used to come to meet her, no matter how much they were against. When they met Baba, and when she explained and clarified everything, they left very happy. So in the establishment of the yajna, she played a very beautiful part. She was the embodiment of tolerance. Her illness never came on her face. Once she had gone to Bombay because of some health problem. She stayed in hospital 2 or 4 days, and there was a very important doctor, and he saw that she was a goddess of peace. People are upset down below, but Mama is as if there's nothing. She had a face of happiness. The doctor asked. First Mama asked, Doctor, are you okay? The doctor's supposed to look after the patient, but the mother was saying, are you okay?
कहते हैं हाँ मैं तो ठीक हूँ
He
पर
said,
तुम
yes,
ठीक हो?
I am fine, but what
Mama
about
ने
you? Mama said, yes, I am also fine.
कभी मामा ने बीमारी का रूप नहीं दिखाया
Mama never showed the
और
form of
जहाँ
an ill
जाती है वहाँ सेवा
person,
ही सेवा
and
सेवा
wherever she would go, she would
तो
do
जन्मते
service.
ही सेवा
From birth, she
अंत
did
तक
service
सेवा
until the last.
शरीर भी मामा ने छोड़ा है तो माउंट आबू में छोड़ा है बाबा
She
के
left her body
शरीर
in
छोड़ने
Mount
से 2-4
Abu
साल पहले छोड़ा है
4 or 5 years
तारीख मुझे
before
याद
Brahma
नहीं है, तो
Baba
65 था या 64
was 1964,
65 में शरीर छोड़ा है मामा ने अब बाबा ने 69 में शरीर छोड़ा
and Baba in 1969, just a few
परंतु
years
बाबा ने
difference.
आसमान बनाया
But Baba made her
आज
like
फिर बाबा
himself,
ने अपने हाथों में दादी का
and
हाथ दे करके लास्ट में दादी को निमित्त
until the end he had made
जाते हुए
Dadi the
सारी विल करके
instrument,
गया दादी के नाम पर
and the whole
पर
will
किया नहीं
was
इशारे
in
में काम हाथ में
Dadi's name. But
दृष्टि
this
दी
was
हाथ में हाथ दिया
when Baba
बाबा
left,
आ गए
he held Dadi's hand
इशारे
and
इशारे
left the
में
body and gave the
जिसको निमित्त
signal
बनाया वो
that
आज भी
she
दादी
is the
हमारी
one. And now
दिव्य
Dadi has
सेवा कर
become
रही
the
है
instrument for such a
इधर
huge,
हमारी दादी
unlimited
जानकी ने उसको पूरा पूरा साथ दिया
service, and Dadi Janki has
उसको
given
कहते
her
में ये
full
रहता है कि मुझे
cooperation.
तो बाबा को एकदम
And she also
प्रत्यक्ष
has the
करना
feeling that, yes, I must
अपने
make Baba
चलन और
known
चरिस
by her behavior and her
धारणा भी इतनी
face.
मजबूत है
Her dharana is very
अथक
strong,
होकर के सेवा करती
and
है
she
रात
does
दिन
completely tireless service
जब भी
day
कोई
and
जाता है
night.
तो देखो दादी बिजी है
If anyone
जब भी
goes,
कोई
you'll
आता है उनके
see
पास तो दादी
Dadi
प्यार से
has
उनकी सेवा
people
करके संतुष्ट
that
करके
she's
रवाना
talking to, making
कोई
satisfied,
कैसे भी
and
दिल वाला आता है
no matter
परंतु
how
उनकी
someone
सेवा
is,
करके
she will serve that
दादी
person
जानकी उनको संतुष्ट करती है तो ये
and
जैसे बाबा ने
satisfy
आप
them.
समान बना दिया
So Baba had made her like
तो बाबा के
himself.
सारे कार्य को चला यहाँ चेले चाटी तो है नहीं
Now we're here, we
कोई
don't
गुरु
have any
नहीं तो कोई
followers,
चेले
we
नहीं
don't have any
बाप और
gurus.
बच्चों का
It's the
संबंध है
father
जो
and the
बाप का कार्य
child,
वो बच्चों का
and
कार्य
whatever is the work of the
तो
father
शुरू
is
में
the
बाबा ने आप
work of
समान
the
बनाया
children. So Baba kept on making
कि तुम
the
शिव
sisters like
शक्तियाँ हो
himself, saying, you are the
सबको
Shiv
जगत का
Shaktis,
कल्याण करना
you have to benefit the world.
इसलिए हम सबको आप समान बनाते थे बाबा
Baba used to make everyone like himself. You have to go explain to the different people. So Baba made everyone like himself, and this is why it's such a big gathering of people who were serving. The sisters are there, and so there's no problem. This is why brothers are behind and sisters are in front. From the beginning, the sisters have been put in front, because this is very new and different knowledge. Otherwise, people argue, they can't understand it. But by the power of peace and in the proper way, and someone who is really applying the knowledge in their life, they are impressive. Not to get angry, to stay peaceful. Baba had taught all these things. Om Shanti. Okay. Let us all sit in Baba's remembrance.